Hey guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to be showing you how to create this dramatic plum smoky eye using the new Urban Decay Naked Heat palette. I have been dying to tell you guys about this palette for so long. I got it a while ago because I was working on a little project for Urban Decay, creating a series of different looks, including the one I had on in my May favorites video. So that was the big secret. It was the Urban Decay Naked Heat palette. The lipstick is Fuel, the same one that I have on right now. And I was also in Las Vegas and New Orleans this past week celebrating the launch. We were filming some really cool content for Urban Decay's website, I believe, and a few other platforms. They also told us that there's gonna be a billboard either in New York or Los Angeles with all of us that were on the trip on the billboard. So if you happen to see that, take a photo, please tag me in it. I'm super excited for it. I've never been on a billboard, nor did I ever think I would have that opportunity. So thank you guys for making all of this possible for me. Thank you to Urban Decay for hosting us at an amazing time. I will say there was a controversy while we were on that trip, something about some swatches being released that weren't very pigmented by a publication, and it made the palette look bad. And I'm here to let you guys know that this palette is beautiful. I believe it is the best one yet that Urban Decay has released from the Naked series. And it's super versatile, which is why I wanted to create a plum smoky eye, because obviously when you look at this palette, you see more of the warm brown tones, and people tend to forget about the cranberries and the plums on the right side of the palette. So I'm going to show you guys how I create this look. It is going to be a voiceover. It is super hot. I'm trying to wrap this video up because it's a million degrees in here. I'm so excited to move into a new apartment with AC because I just filmed this entire tutorial with this little fan. So if you guys are interested, keep on watching. To start things off, I've already added a little bit of foundation that I'm going to be applying to my face around my brows and also filled in my brows with the DIOR brow styler. So I'm just using this MAC Mineralized Skin Finish powder to set from the brow bone down to the crease. And then going straight into the Naked Heat palette, I'm using Sauced as a transition shade. So I'm just applying that to the crease and then working it all the way from the end of the eye to the inner part of the eye. Using that same brush, I'm next going in with Low Blow. This color is going to be very complementary on many different eye colors. I love browns that are this kind of mustardy shade. And I'm just building on the crease color, so I'm applying it exactly like how I did with Sauced, using that exact same brush. To create the smokiest smoky eye, I'm going in with ALKALINE 24/7 Glide On Eye Pencil. This is also a part of the Heat collection, and I'm going to use that as an eyeshadow base. So I applied foundation from the brow bone down to the crease when I was filling in my brows, but I didn't apply it to the lid. So this is going on bare skin. I'm just going to really apply it from the lash line up to where the shadow meets and then buff it all the way out. So as you guys can see, it takes quite a bit of time to blend it out, but make sure you do one eye before you do the other, because once this eyeliner sets, it doesn't move. And from here, I'm going to pack on the shadow Ashes. It's a really beautiful deep shade of plum, and I'm just going to pack that on directly on top of the eyeliner. Now to connect the dark eyeshadow on the lid to the colors in the crease, I'm using En Fuego to create the perfect smoky eye that blends out from dark to light. Using my handy dandy Smith 232 brush, I'm just going to buff and blend these eyeshadows out as much as humanly possible. I hope you guys like that I fast forward through the blending. Before, I used to cut in between clips, and I felt like it didn't really show how much blending I actually do. So by fast forwarding, I don't actually cut anything out. I just make it a lot quicker, but it shows how much blending I'm actually doing. I'm going to move on to the skin for now, and once I have my concealer and powder underneath my eyes, I'll go back to finishing the smoky eye. So for now, I'm priming my skin with the BECCA Backlight Priming Filter. I want to create a really glowy complexion, so I'm also going to be using a very luminous foundation. Today I'm using the DIOR Star Foundation, which the color looks super dark, but I had to mix shades because I'm kind of in between my self-tanner fading away. I'm not completely pale yet. There's still a little bit of self-tanner left. So I really had to warm up my skin, but it did end up being a little darker than my body. So don't focus on that, just focus on the skin. And to further cover up my sunspots, I'm using my Laura Mercier Secret Camouflage. I'm just using the side that's a little more on the peach side to color correct before I go in and highlight down the center of the face. To further brighten the inner corners of the eyes, I'm using a salmon or peach toned concealer. My favorite is NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer in the shade Honey. And I actually recommend doing this before your eyeshadow, that way you don't mess up that inner corner. But I'm just doing it now because I forgot to do it in the beginning. So I'm just patting it into that inner corner where we can get a little more darkness around the eyes. And then to highlight the center of the face, I'm going to be using the Born This Way Concealer by Too Faced. I'm not too sure of the colors, so I'll make sure to include that in the description box along with everything else that I'm using in today's tutorial. To set all that concealer and foundation in place, I'm using the Cover FX Perfect Setting Powder. I always like to pick up any excess creasing before setting because if not, you tend to lock the creases in place. And I'm just using that same Smith 232, a clean one, to buff the powder into the areas that crease. I find that works best with this setting powder, or anytime when you don't want to do the baking method or pack on too much powder. And then using a large fluffy brush, I'm going to dust it all over the rest of the face. This powder, Rat Her, is a new powder by Urban Decay. It's the Translucent Pressed Beauty Powder. I want to talk about this product for just a moment because I think a lot of people are getting it confused for a setting powder when it really is a finishing powder. The difference is that a finishing powder sort of changes the finish of your complexion. So this one is meant to further illuminate and create a glow. It does have specks of glitter or just like an illuminating property to it. It's not meant to set your makeup. So you would use this in addition to a setting powder to just further enhance the glow. Just had to get that info out for you guys, and now I'm going to move on to bronzing and contouring with my favorite bronzer at the moment, the Marc Jacobs Omega bronzer in the shade TAN-TASTIC. It is limited edition. I have yet to find it again in stores or online, and I need to stock up because I need it forever in my life. Jumping back to the eyes for just a moment, I'm going back in with ALKALINE to fill in my lower and upper waterline. And for the lower lash line, I'm actually going to extend it past the waterline and use it as a base for the eyeshadow that I'm going to be applying to that area. So I'm just smudging it out, and then I'm going to go back in with Ashes, the deep plum shade, and apply it right on top of that eyeliner. And to further smoke it out and connect the lower lash line to the color in the crease, I'm going to also apply Sauced and In Fuego and just really smoke it out. Personally, I really love the look of a lot of shadow on the lower lash line. If you don't feel comfortable doing so, just keep it tighter to the lower lash line, but always make sure to blend the shadow back up into the crease to connect the look of the smoky eye. And to give the look that the shadow is disappearing into the rest of the skin, I always like using a face powder. I'm using that same MAC MINERLIZE Skin Finish powder to buff it into the rest of the skin. And then for an inner corner highlight, I didn't want anything too shimmery since the eye look is completely matte, so I'm going in with Ounce from the Heat palette on that inner corner. And to complete the eyes, I'm going to pop on a couple of these individual lashes by Ardell. I'm using the medium length and also the long, and I will add mascara later once the glue has dried down. For blush, I'm using Score by Urban Decay. I kind of wish I would have used something with more of a peachy undertone, but this is kind of what I had on hand, and it actually complemented the look really well. And then to set everything in place, I'm using Chill, also by Urban Decay. It's just an Urban Decay kind of day. If you guys want a one brand tutorial with Urban Decay, let me know in the comment section down below. And then for a highlighter, I'm using Laura Gellar's Gilded Honey. I apply highlighter after a setting spray because I feel like it further intensifies the highlight and gives it more of that glossy look versus coming out sparkly and grainy. And then to finish off the skin, I always like going in with a large fluffy face brush and just buffing lightly in circular motions to make sure everything looks really well blended. Now to really complete the eyes, I'm just going to coat my false lashes and real lashes in Perversion mascara, both upper and lower. And of course, you can never forget clear brow gel. I think I forgot to apply it in my last tutorial, and it just, my eyebrows look so different. I feel like brow gel just defines my brows and sets them in place. So I'm using Ready Set Brow. And the lip is Fuel from the Urban Decay Heat Collection. I forgot to hold it up, but the packaging is really stunning. I'm holding it in my hand. It's like a nice copper color. And there you guys have it. That completes the look. I hope you enjoyed it. I am hoping to have more videos out, but as you guys know, I'm traveling, I'm moving, my schedule is really hectic right now, but I'm trying my hardest to get more videos out for you. But definitely stay tuned, subscribe so you don't miss out on my future videos, hit that notification bell. I love you, and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.